Good day, everyone. I am Chris Anhirong, a second year Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Filipino student.
Good day everyone! I am Ivy Giortis, a second year BSc Ed major in Filipino student. After discussing in the previous report about how professional teacher relates with the primary stakeholders, which is the learners, with the secondary stakeholders, which is the parents, with the external stakeholders, such as the state and the community, and other internal stakeholders, such as the community and the teaching officials, the higher authorities. Now, let us see and learn how professional teacher should conduct himself and herself as a person in the teaching profession and in business. Now, let's talk about the Article 4, a teacher and the profession of the Code of Ethics. Section 1. Every teacher shall actively ensure that teaching is the noblest profession and shall manifest a genuine enthusiasm and pride in teaching as a noble calling. Section 2. Every teacher shall uphold the highest possible standards of quality education, shall make the best preparations for the career of teaching, and shall be at best at all times in the practice of his profession. Section 3. Every teacher shall participate in the continuing professional education program of the Professional Regulation Commission and shall pursue such other studies as well as improve his efficiency, enhance his prestige of the profession, and strengthen his competence, virtues, and productivity in order to be nationally and internationally competitive. Section 4. Every teacher shall help, if duly authorized, to seek support from the school, but shall not make improper misrepresentation through personal advertisement and other questionable means. Section 5. Every teacher shall use the teaching profession in a manner that dignified means for earning a decent living. The first quote relates to Section 1 of Article 4. Professional teachers should introduce themselves with pride as professional teachers, not as just professional teachers. The second and fourth quotes relate to Section 2 of Article 4, making the best preparation for the teaching career, and Section 3, continuing professional education. The fifth and sixth quotes, in essence, talk about self-respect, which is the essence of Section 4 and 5 of the Article 4, the teaching and the profession. The Code of Professional Conduct for Public School Teachers, cited in Section 7 of Republic Act 4670, states that the work of the teacher in the development of the young is a trust of which every teacher should strive to be worthy. Who uses his profession for an unworthy purpose betrays the trust.
The next, according to the Article 11, the teacher as a person of the Code of Ethics, Section number 1. A teacher shall live with dignity in all places at all times. Section number 2. A teacher shall place premium upon self-discipline as the primary principles of personal behavior in all relationships with others and in all situations. Section number 3. A teacher shall maintain at all times a dignified personality which could serve as a model worthy of emulation by learners, peers, and all others. Section number 4. A teacher shall always recognize the Almighty God as guide of his own destiny and of the destinies of men and nations. So much is demanded as a teacher as a person. He or she look up to as model and therefore must walk her talk or ends up like a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. This is a big challenge. His or her highest obligation is to live with dignity in all places at all times. So, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 31 days a month, 365 or 366 days a year. He or she will never regret if she or he had made self-respect and self-discipline as the governing principle in his or her relationship with all people in all situations, with the Almighty God at the center of his or her life. The professional teacher will be resolute in his or her intent to maintain a dignified personality and so can serve as a model for learners, peers, and all others. The Code of Professional Conduct for Public School Teachers, cited in Section 7 of RA 4670, puts it succinctly. Integrity, since the teacher's work is not confined merely to the development of certain fundamental skills and abilities encompassed by the teaching of the 3S, or reading, writing, and arithmetic, but also includes the development of desirable habits and attitudes that go into the formation of character. His manner of living should provide a worthy example for his pupils and students to emulate, for his fellow teachers to be proud of, and for the community to feel as being enriched by it.
While the salaries of the teachers in the Philippines are still lower compared to the other ASEAN member states, teacher salaries considerably increased after EDSA 1. But despite these significant salary increases, teachers tend to overborrow or engage in business to eke out income. So, this part in Lesson 4 is focused to the teacher and his or her involvement in business.
According to the Article 10, the teacher and the business of the Code of Ethics, Section 1, a teacher has the right to engage directly or indirectly in legitimate income generation, provided that it does not relate to or adversely affect his work as a teacher. Section 2. A teacher shall maintain a good reputation with respect to the financial matters, such as in the settlement of his just debts, loans, or other financial affairs. Section number 3. No teacher shall act directly or indirectly as agent of or be financially interested in any commercial venture which furnish textbooks and other school commodities in the purchase and disposal of which he can exercise official influence, except only when his assignment is inherently related to such purchase and disposal, provided that such shall be in accordance with existing regulations.
Now, let's talk about the findings of the study on teachers borrowing as shared by Deputy Secretary Leonor Briones. Number 1. The propensity of the public school teachers to borrow is 50%, higher compared to the other employees of the government such as the police and nurses. Number 2. Aside from the possibility of not receiving any pay once they retire, public school teachers may also suffer sanctions from the mere reprimand to revocation of license to teach due to their unpaid loans. There are more than 500 pending cases versus teacher filed by various lending institutions in the past 3 years. As said in the previous lessons, the teacher should live with dignity at all times and at all places and to be a model for all. So, a teacher must maintain a good reputation with respect to financial matters such as in the settlement of his debts and loans, in arranging satisfactorily his private financial affair. If the teacher live by principles of the self-respect and self-discipline as cited in the Code of Ethics, there will no problem on the teacher indebtedness and teachers' uninferiable reputation of not paying their debts. If a teacher lives simply, he or she will not that indebted. To live simply, the professional teachers must distinguish between his needs and wants.